This is a demo of the practical assignment on the transaction ingestion. So basically we have to build a microservices for the transaction ingestion and to categorize those transactions based on the category or the merchant name. So we have the transaction table with ID, merchant name, amount and other details. We want to validate each transaction and ingest into this table. We want to have a asynchronous API that will categorize those transactions based on the different categories. So there are two strategies for categorization. One is rule based strategy. For that we have category rules predefined. Here we have the keyword by which it will try to match the merchant name and find the category based on the priority and is active status. And when there are no keywords matching to the merchant name, the fallback strategy is to call the LLM for the merchant name and try to categorize that merchant that transaction on particular categories such as shopping, entertainment or travel. um, so other technical details are in the readme files. I will go and run spin up the Docker. So meanwhile it is building for the startup data setup. We have the DDL for all three tables and on the seed category rules. So there are 10 category rules which are added on multiple categories, and we can also have an API admin API to add new category rules, and other tables are empty. So application is started. Let's check the DB status for now. I have the earlier data. Okay, so merchant table is empty, transaction is also empty. Refresh this one. So on a startup we have the 10 category rules which are on the script which are added by Flyway. So I'll try to uh, add new transactions. For that I have 10,000 records which I'm trying to ingest into the transaction table. So for that we have bulk transaction API. Here are the transactions. Okay, API has completed. In response we see that 9600 has been accepted and 400 has been rejected. So there are validation on the input transaction. For example, merchant name here is blank, amount is not in the range, or the it is not on the valid currency code. Based on that it would reject some injection. Let's validate those transaction in the transaction tables. Okay, we can see here that 9600 transaction has been added. Now let's try to categorize them. As for now there are no merchant category entry in this table. So let's trigger this job. So it will directly give accepted response, and in backend it will run the processor synchronously. We can see in the logs it has calling the Gemini API. So I'm using Gemini, for which to run this one I'll need to provide the API key details in the Docker Compose, and if it is failing then it will just and it will not categorize those transactions. So it has completed 130 transaction and 20 was skipped. So let's check those details. So we can see 130 has been categorized. So some of them are like, if we see we can see it was a rule based transaction which was categorized based on the merchant name that we have. So it has found Amazon, and shopping and transport categorization hasn't happened. Now we can also check the summary of these details. So on summary we can see the total spent by the category. So shopping has the highest amount of spend. We can also check the spent by the merchant name. So Amazon.com has the highest number of spending, and we can also have month over month spending analysis. So starting month transaction is from July 2025. Before that the previous month value is null, and then we can see the delta. So 0.69% is the percentage that has been increased, 9% increase here. Also we can see somewhere the total spending has decreased here, so we can see delta percentage is negative also here. Now uh, let's try to add a new rule. So there is one more controller for that. Let's try to add new keyword hotstar, which will be of category entertainment streaming platform. Priority is 11. So it is executed. Come and let's validate in category rules. So it has been added successfully here, and we can also search transaction based on the keyword. So we can try to find the transaction on particular date with the category of shopping. So if I execute this, I can see all the transaction that has happened on this date. And if I remove the category, here it has been on the sorting has been done based on the amount. So if I remove the category, we can see more number of transaction. Total 46 transaction has happened on that day. We can validate those transaction here. So I have already prepared query. We can see that 46 transactions are on the particular date, so it is fetching those transaction on, and we can also navigate and update page size. So if I update page size and go to this third page, we can see that page size has been updated to 5 from 3, as I has increased and decreased the size of the page from 20 to 10. Yeah, so this was about the transaction, and this was the about the demo on this feature.